And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get the app. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or you can go down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Also, Tuesday night, the 1-year anniversary of Cincy Light. We will be doing the launch or the idea of Cincy Light, the announcement. We will be doing a watch party at Rheingeist in Over the Rhine for the Howard game. So come join us, and we will have a great time watching the Bearcats on the road at Howard and enjoying some Cincy Lights. All right, Aaron. Let's talk some football, but not UC football.
Thank God.
Put that on the back burner.
To bed.
Let's talk some Big 12 football. We'll get to a little Big 12 basketball as well on our normal Sunday night recap.
You said in our pre-show you didn't want to talk about games that happen on Friday. Well, there's games that happen on Friday, even as we have to talk about football, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, but basketball's different. I mean, we have to talk about Texas because they made it into the Big 12 championship game with their win. We're not going to say much about it because they beat Texas Tech 57-7.
There's not much to say about it. Arch Manning has been cited.
Mm-hmm. That's a rough one for Texas Tech. It's a rough look in that game to get just dismantled. Texas slim college football playoff hopes still alive as they move on to the Big 12 title game next weekend. The other game on Friday, Oklahoma.
Before we move on, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Quinn Ewers goes 17-26 for 196, 1 touchdown, 1 pick in a 57-7 game. Xavier Worthy, who is arguably their number 2, and Arch Manning collectively go 2 of 6 for 30 yards. Xavier Worthy, 0 for 1. Would you have in a 57-7 drubbing?
Worthy's a wide receiver, Aaron, isn't he?
I thought that was your backup quarterback. You're right. It is a wide. So who's the backup quarterback that played for Ewers?
Yeah, I forget his name, but yeah, I don't know. Worthy's
I guess I'm just getting at. Are you upset that?
Am I upset? No.
What I'm getting at is, would you have played the backups more in a beatdown?
No, not necessarily, Aaron, because you're trying to get style points because you're outside of the playoff looking in. Like, this is the world that we've created until next year when there's a 12-team playoff. Texas has got to turn as many heads as humanly possible so you keep your foot on the gas. I've tried to score 70 just because.
Okay.
Speaking of trying to score 70, Oklahoma 69, TCU 45.
What a transition.
Dylan Gabriel, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I should probably do this for a living or something. Oklahoma, they didn't get in to the Big 12 title game but we'll get to that. But they put their best foot forward. And then today they parted ways with their offensive coordinator.
Lose their OC. Yep.
Yeah.
Lose their OC.
To Mississippi State as the head coach. But it sounded like he wasn't going to be welcomed back anyway with some of the
you think
Bryles
you think he's going to be
still permeating.
You think he's going to be riding a 4-wheeler onto the field at Mississippi State?
After what happened in the Egg Bowl, I wouldn't do that. I'd let it go. Well, that coach, he couldn't walk or something, right? Like, he had surgery or like.
look,
Yeah,
this is the first time I'm hearing of this. This was not me trying to make a joke. I had no idea.
I think he had like some like it wasn't like major. He had like some kind of minor surgery where like
you made it sound like he couldn't actually walk. And I'm like, oh, what did I just get myself into? I had no idea.
No, like, well, I don't think he can. I don't know. I'd heard something that he had some kind of procedure, and like, so he used that as his prop to get out onto the field.
All right, I thought it was just trying to hype
up
a team
he's paralyzed. No, that's not what I'm saying. It wasn't that serious. Well, I think he did. I saw somewhere that he had something that like prevented him from running out onto the field. But yeah, Oklahoma rolls. They finished 10-2, 7-2 in conference. And look, if they had just won Bedlam, it would be worst case scenario for the Big 12 because it would be Oklahoma and Texas in their final year in the Big 12 title game. So you think Oklahoma State's going to get a favorable whistle next weekend in Dallas?
I guess the crazy thing, Oklahoma was ranked 13 going into this game, and if you were on a 12-team playoff, you potentially could be looking at Oklahoma and Texas both in this playoff. So
yeah,
I don't know that they're going to see that same level of success in their new home,
in their new endeavor. Yeah, I don't think so either. Iowa State, Kansas State, in one of the wildest games in the history of college football. Like,
I wish I could have watched this live.
The stats on this one, like some of the numbers on this one, Aaron.
Yes, I've looked at some of the stats on this one.
Iowa State ran like 50 plays.
Mm-hmm.
And gained 488 yards. Is that like, no, it's less than that. They had 23 rushing attempts and 12 pass attempts. They ran 35 plays and they had 488 yards.
That's insane. Absolutely insane.
Everybody's favorite Iowa State fan, Cyclone Larry, did an incredible. Did you see his troll job? He was like, which play hurt Kansas State the worst? Was it the 77-yard touchdown? Or was it the 83-yard touchdown? Or was it the 65-yard touchdown?
It's such a good account. Account.
Abu Sama, who's a freshman, true freshman for Iowa State, 16 carries, 276 yards. He averaged 17.3 per carry, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Noel. 3 touchdowns. Jalen Noel, 3 catches, 160 yards. He averaged 53.3 yards a catch and 2 touchdowns. And Jaden Higgins, 2 for 55. He averaged a miserable 27.5 yards per catch and scored a touchdown. Those were the Iowa State 6 touchdowns. The wild stat that I saw, and I can't pull it up here. I believe Iowa State scored 42 points and only ran like 1 or 2 plays in Kansas State territory because they were just scoring 85 yards, 75 yards, like 2 plays inside in Kansas State territory for the whole game, and they scored 42 points and won comfortably.
How mad would you be if you are either the, running back? Yeah, freshman running back Carson Hansen, who had 3 carries for 11 yards, or Steve Klotz, who had he's a tight end. Steve-O is his name actually. Steve-O Klotz, 1 catch for 4 yards. Everybody else just scored every time they touched the damn ball. You guys just got normal stats.
35 plays, almost 500 yards. That's what you do. Like that's the type of number you put up against like an FCS opponent. And they were playing in snow, and it looked cold as hell. And I guess Kansas State was just like, I don't want to tackle. We're just going to let these guys run by me for touchdowns.
Yeah. We know what that's like.
Yeah, no, we've seen it. So yeah, that one, Farmageddon, won by the Cyclones, 42-35. BYU tried to pull off a stunner and couldn't get it done. They were up 24-6 at halftime, and they get outscored in the second half, 21-3. The game goes to overtime, and Oklahoma State hangs on 40-34. Second week in a row, they've pulled a magic act, and hung on to get into the Big 12 title game.
The stats are terrible on this, though. Like, the stats are terrible. I mean, if you're looking at Oklahoma State, who's getting...
Unless you're Alec Gordon, who had 5 touchdown rushes.
His stats are fantastic. But I'm looking at BYU and even Alan Bowman. 31 of 47 for Alan Bowman, 321 yards. Look, I would have taken 31 of 47 any time this season. But no touchdowns, 2 picks. Nothing really to write home about, I guess. I mean, it's just Ollie Gordon show. 34 carries, 166 yards, 5 touchdowns. Is he going to be? I mean, we're looking at the Big 12 championship coming up. Is he going to be Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year? Like, without question?
I don't know how he's not.
I think he has to be, right?
I mean, he's been the best offensive player in the league, and his team is going to play in the championship game.
I think he has to be.
Yeah. I wouldn't. The crazy thing is he didn't really play in the first, 4 games.
That's the crazy thing is Oklahoma State didn't know what they were doing with anybody on the team for the first 3 games. And yet here they are playing. Like, that's I think a true testament to he's a man. He's 55 or whatever, but
he's 58, whatever. UCF 27-13 over Houston, and it brings the Holgo era to a close. Dana Holgerson has been fired.
See ya.
That's depressing. I liked having Dana around. Yeah.
No, you liked being able to make the jokes on Dana. I did too.
Well,
sure.
Yeah, I work in the content business.
That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be
around.
It's Houston. That doesn't mean there isn't going to be somebody equally horrendous to make fun of.
Oh, it's not going to be as fun. They're going to hire some disheveled Red Bull and vodka alcoholic addict.
Yeah, it might be even funnier. They could hire Dave Aranda.
Well, Dave Aranda's not going anywhere. We'll get to that in just a second.
We'll see.
No, it's already.
But what I did want to bring up, though, as far as UCF goes, six wins. Now they're bowl eligible.
Yeah. West Virginia 34-31. It was West Virginia early. Baylor came back, and then West Virginia pulls it out with 25 seconds remaining. Baylor has announced that they are, or has made public that Dave Aranda is getting 1 more year.
How long is that leash?
Sure why?
How long is that?
Very long, but I guess what they have decided is they played more freshmen than anybody else in the conference. So Baylor is giving him a respite. I'm saying they're gonna let him see it through to see if next year that works. But I mean, pretty obvious if it doesn't, then they're gonna let him go. But it sounds like full staff changes. You know, it's that final step you make before you fire a coach. You need new coordinators. Everybody we don't like is out. Go find new people, because that's always the way I think you make coaches comfortable is you make them fire everybody and start over with new systems.
I don't know. It's just the whole situation seems already like the wheels have fallen off, and as unfortunate as that may be, I feel like you're wasting a season if you're not just going to rip the Band-Aid off and do what you have to do. Instead, you're going to hire all these other people on for maybe a season, wasting a recruiting cycle. Or maybe you have guys who are coming in because of certain coaches.
What is the reality of this, of what I said? They played freshmen over 4,000 snaps this year, and they're afraid if they fire him, all those freshmen that you just gave
into the
all
portal.
Of this time to do, into the portal, and not only is next year's shot, but like you did all of that this year for nothing. Like that's the answer here, right? That's why he's getting another year.
Unless he was playing chess and figured out if he threw a bunch of freshmen in there, he'd at least get another year.
Yeah, I mean, that's college football 101 these days. Men's basketball, Iowa State and A&M, Texas A&M are playing right now. They are tied in the middle of the second quarter. Our good friends down the road in Orlando lost to Cologne, Stetson 85-82. And West Virginia almost lost to Bellarmine at home, 62-58. For today's action, there were no games on Saturday. On Friday, Baylor won a tight one over Florida. Baylor offensively is a problem. Oklahoma, 72-70 over USC. Nice win for the Sooners over Isaiah Collier and company. Virginia Tech knocked off Iowa State. Texas Tech knocked off Michigan. And BYU, maybe the surprise team in this conference so far. 6-0. They beat NC State 95-86.
I think, when do rankings come out? Today?
I think basketball rankings come out on Monday.
Monday? Okay. I'm just curious if BYU has snuck into the top 25 yet, as they're beating everybody.
Yeah, they're playing really well. That's going to be a very interesting conference opener for the Bearcats. Maybe the two surprise teams in the conference so far that both were picked, near the bottom, and both are playing pretty well. So we will have a lot more tomorrow night. I'm sure if you haven't heard, we will have athletic director John Cunningham on tomorrow night on the BBP, and we'll talk some football. I'm sure we'll get into a wild day in the coaching carousel over the last 24 hours. That's been pretty crazy. And then we'll talk some basketball. And Tuesday night, Ryan Geist, come join me for the watch party, the 1 year anniversary, and we'll have a good time and get to watch the Bearcats. So, anything else?
Got to figure out what George and I are doing Tuesday night if we're doing a show. If he's going to the game, then I don't know that that's going to happen. So,
no, the game's on the road.
It's in Howard. Yeah, so I got to figure out, I guess, if he's going to the watch party or if he's going to be watching at home. So,
yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, the nice thing about basketball, it starts at 7, they end at 9. Like
that is the nice thing.
It's not football where the game kicked off at 7:30 last night, and I got home at 12:20. Anywho,
that was a quick game.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. We will we'll see you tomorrow night on the BBP and another nightcap. No, we won't do a nightcap tomorrow. That's right. We'll see you tomorrow night on the BBP. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.